now up to seconds on the table, form with your boys and a huge game against the Wanderers. I guess I'll ask first, just health and fitness-wise of the squad, who are you taking to Western Sydney? Any fitness concerns heading into that game?
Yeah, there's always fitness concerns here. It wouldn't it wouldn't be a normal week here without some issues. Yeah, Lex has got an issue with his hamstring for the 20 minutes that he played on Friday last week. Nothing serious, but with his history, everything that sort of pops up gives him a little bit more aggravation. So he's not going to be there this week. Sammy's not tracking as quickly as we thought, so Sammy won't be there either. And besides those two that from last week, that's it, I think.
With Matt, another hamstring injury. Are you reaching the point where you almost just need to shut him down for the season and focus on getting him healthy for the next campaign?
Well, that's probably a discussion for later on at the end of the season, Joey. But right now, he's gone through these stages right throughout the season and through pre-season and right to this point. So there's no point really shutting him down. It's frustrating for him, especially, obviously for us, but just little things that just happen out of normal actions. So that's the frustrating part. He was only just stretching for a ball when he came on, and he felt something, although he ran the rest of the game out and to me looked fine. It was only when we chatted at the end of the night that he said that he had a bit of awareness and a bit of soreness in the bottom of the hamstring. So it is what it is. We've coped as much as we love to have him, but we've coped without him through the course of the season, and we'll need to continue to do that.
And in terms of Sammy, so Sammy not in the squad today, we saw you started with Aziz as a centre-back against Brisbane and then switched that up, kicked him out to the left as the game went on. What are you thinking about how you line up your defenders this time around? And I guess, because I didn't ask you after the game, what led to you starting Aziz centrally?
Yeah, well, we started Aziz centrally against Perth. I don't know how long ago that was. And he did really well, and we thought that was probably just with his experience to slot in there, and the odd game he can do a very, very good job for us there, and we thought that'd be the same, and it was fine. But we were having issues with our fullbacks rather than our central defenders. So we just adjusted that and put Aziz back to left back. But I think obviously we know that's his best position and where he's best suited. So he'll start out there again on Saturday night.
You've signed a new injury replacement keeper. Who is it, and why did you bring them in?
Dakota Oshenham. We needed another keeper, and we were searching for the right person character-wise. Secondly, the right person who can be close enough to playing our style, and someone who's a little bit more mature-aged. And they were the three factors really, and he fit the bill. Guy who was available. We looked at a couple of guys here at NPL level at Victoria, but they couldn't come across, and Dakota could. So he's a mature age player. He's played over 100 games NPL in Adelaide. We know him well. Very, very good character, good work ethic. So all those sort of things combined helped us make that decision.
But I think your preference is that Dakota never sees the field and it's Patrick throughout the rest of the campaign.
Yeah, well, you never know with us. But we know, we had we got Lockie Charles here as well, but he's still only 17, and to have, that's way too much pressure on a young kid if he had to come in, and he's been on the bench the last couple of games. So, we just thought we needed not another real young keeper. We have a hell of a lot of young goalkeepers here. And Beach has done a remarkable job. James was on a good trajectory until he got injured, and Lockie's in the same way. He's doing very well at NPL level with the 23s and just gaining experience. But at 17, 18, 19, 20, you don't have experience. As you know, with goalkeepers, they develop later. They got longer careers, and they're probably not maturing until they're the mid to late 20s. So again, that was the decision with Dakota, and we wish him well. And like you said, if he doesn't have to come on, it's even better. But we know we're comfortable. We're comfortable with him. If he has to come in, that he'll do a decent job for us.
And Western Sydney this weekend, obviously, in the context of league positioning, it's a huge clash, but you're also facing off with a side who's in potentially the best form in the league. What do you need to do to temper that momentum and get the win?
Yeah, they've been in great form. I think it's 8 or 9 games unbeaten, and they started the season slowly, but they've just been grinding away, and playing some very good football. And I think they're one of the leading goal scorers in the competition. So they're scoring freely. They work extremely hard. They got some really good players around the park, especially the midfield and the attacking areas. So always a difficult game, not too dissimilar to what we faced when we were going to Sydney. So we know we're up for a big night, and we just have to be, again, for us, making sure that we have the right mentality. One, to compete with them, because they're a very competitive team, and if we can do that, we give ourselves the best shot. So in the context of the season, for us, not just this week, but Adelaide at home and then Sydney on the last game, they're really 3 very, very tough games, but all extremely important.
I guess one of the features of the Wanderers in recent weeks has sort of been the fire that they're bringing to games as well. I mean, Anthony Pantazopoulos started hulking out when he made a clearance against Western United on the weekends. Is that something that your boys have to be prepared to match this weekend? Not just to match them tactically and technically, but also to match the intensity and fire that the Wanderers will bring?
I think that's just a given in every game, Joey, to be honest. We've been doing that since day one. So, and it's clear for us when we're at it and our mentality's right and we're strong in the one-on-one duels, we put ourselves right in a very good position to win games. When we're a little bit off in those moments, and then we suffer, and that was the case in point last week. From the first half to the second half, just all those basic parts of the game. You really have to be on song. You really have to be with your mind on the job from the very, very first minute, and playing in that on that pitch away. It's never an easy game, so we really have to be ready mentally for it.
I guess every team sort of has like tone setters. I mean, your current assistant coach, Scott Jamieson, for years, he was the guy that set the tone for City. He would, go in and fly the flag and get everybody up. In the current squad, who sort of fills that Scott Jamieson role?
I think we got a couple, to be honest. Firstly, I think Aziz is always the first one to be mixing it with anyone that comes around him, or standing up for the team. Nate did that a couple of weeks ago. Tilio got kicked savagely a couple of weeks back and against Central Coast, and Nate was the first one in there to support his teammate. We got German as well, so we got a number of guys that and Kai, he's another one. So we've got quite a few that not going to take a backward step. So I think that's important. But in doing that, you got to do that in a way where it's controlled. Because you can fly off the handle pretty easily. And what's important for us is that, we can control those moments, be aggressive, but in a controlled fashion, because, it's very easy these days to copy a yellow card and a red card very quickly. So I'm never going to say go out there, take it easy, and be careful, because that doesn't exist in competitive sport. So we still have to be at it. We still have to be very, very aggressive, but there has to be a controlled aggression.
And mate, also just wanted to get your thoughts. We saw the APL announced yesterday their intention to bring in a $3 million hard cap, not for next season, the season after that. I know you've had to do plenty of adjustments with budgets and all of that in recent times. What's your immediate reaction to the plans to bring in a hard salary cap of $3 million plus one marquee to the league?
To be honest, I really can't make a comment on it, Joey, because I only saw it late last night, and then we just started having a discussion with it this morning. So I don't know the mechanics of it. I know you mentioned that 3.5 million cap, but there's probably more mechanics that go into that, just a solid number. So whatever it is, just have to deal with it whenever it arises, and it's probably best left to the APL and the clubs to deal with it. At the end, for the team, the coaching staff, they're going to tell us exactly what it is and abide by the rules. And we've had budget cuts this year and again next year, so it's never nice, but you have to deal with it, and we'll deal with it when the time arises.